Hello and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations, stream number 2. Today we're hopefully going to try to mix the ending of this new Turnabout episode and then maybe do an entire second episode or half of it or something. But anyways, right now we're just going to focus on completing the first episode. So without further ado, let's just check to see how we're doing. Alright, not bad. Let's do a little bit of adjusting here. Okay. See if that's any different. Hold on. Friggin' delay. Hurry up. It's a long delay. Okay. Alright. It's pretty much about the same thing. Alright. Like I said, without further ado, let's continue investigating the hallway and, more importantly, I believe we were investigating the office of, Prosecutor... What's his face? Forgot his name. Prosecutor... Should be in here, right? Portsman. Prosecutor Portsman. Alright. No. Can only talk to Gumshoe? Talk to Maggie Bird. Can we talk to Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Oh, there we go. I see. Alright. Let's talk to Gumshoe a little bit. I was wondering about the investigation.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let a real seasoned pro teach you how it's done.
A real seasoned pro? Of instant noodle cuisine, perhaps?
You know that you can always check out the really important spots in more detail, right?
Yes.
And if the area is too big, you can always use the right stick to take a look around. Oh, but don't worry, sir. The right stick command will only show up when you need it.
I knew that as well.
And when you think there's a contradiction or something unusual, try deduction. First, you line up your cursor with the suspicious-looking area, and press Y and choose your evidence. When you've settled on a piece, you've got to present it with Y again.
I'm pretty sure I already knew that as well, Detective.
Well, if you can remember all that, then welcome to the world of pros. I dub you Ace Investigator. Class dismissed.
All I wanted was an update about the investigation. Detective Gumshoe, you look rather intrigued by something. Care to share?
Oh, it's nothing, but I noticed that Mr. Portsman calls his partner Jim. And the detective in that Sunday night drama, All My Cops, is named Jim, too. I bet one of them is a big fan of that show.
You seem to know a little something about it yourself. I take it you watch it too?
Of course, the tight bond of friendship between prosecutor and detective is great, sir. But it's nothing compared to the super strong friendship we have.
Friendship, Detective? I think you're mistaking it with pity.
How can you say that, sir? After all we've been through, too. Sniffle.
Oh, nice. About Miss Bird.
No way she's a killer. Please don't tell me you buy into that accusation, sir.
Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position.
Well, if you're only asking, that's okay. Just stand next to her and then press A. Then you two can talk about whatever topic you pick. If you want to ask her about evidence, all you have to do is present it to her with Y. After you choose what to show her, press Y again. And off you go. And off you two go. I recommend showing different people different things. You'd be surprised by what they say.
Thank you for the explanation, though I don't recall asking for one.
Oh, just so you know, sir, you can show me evidence in the same way, too.
I too believe it's time to get down to business and ask him questions of Miss Bird.
Ignored again.
Stifle. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe?
Of course, sir. Examine anything and everything with A. By checking various things out, we can gather all sorts of evidence and information. You can see the evidence we've collected with right bumper. For information,
For information and leads, it's left bumper.
that's it. Great job, sir. Deductive reasonable is the way to go.
It's called deductive reasoning, detective. Clearly something you lack. Alright, what can we present him? Can we present the badge?
The prosecutor badge is really tiny compared to my police badge. Oh, but it's really cool, sir. Much cooler than my badge could ever be.
There's no need to suck up to me, detective.
The victim's gun, huh? It's the same model as mine.
A tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take lives away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. I hope you understand that.
I don't really use my gun at all, sir. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot dude with a convict to look ultra cool.
Sigh, you were doing so well until that last bit.
I'm just a loaded detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest him.
That's the only talent you have. Oh, wait. Oh, I can't present profiles? Alright, fair enough. Alright, we've wasted enough time here. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood.
Kinda majestic too. Fits in really well with the ambiance of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these.
Nonsense. Man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. The door is locked tight.
I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them.
Aha, so I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Yeah, so it's just as I thought. Last night, Maggie Bird opened Edgeworth's door, not Portsman's.
Mr. Portsman's personal basketball hoop.
Can't believe he put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office.
But, you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office and yet you still managed to get lost? I mean, it also has a number on it. Come on, detective. Even I can't defend you from that one. Oh! Is this spot somehow connected to any of it? Oh. No. This bit. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? There is a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird had said is true, then why is this door locked tight?
You know, you're right.
Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means, what, sir?
It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She opened a different door? But how can you prove that?
There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these. The prints on the number plates. They will tell us all we need to know.
Everything? Really? Like what, sir?
Like, well, for example, such as... well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles.
Wow, that was amazing, sir. How did you know?
Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, that's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is, we need to examine these. Okay, fine. Prince on the doorknob will tell us everything.
Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal! Do us a favor and see where you can lift from this, okay? So, what'd you find out?
There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsmouth's and Mr. Fice's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive.
I'm lost, sir.
Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose prints should also be on this doorknob?
Take that!
Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent?
You mean...
Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. There we go. Okay. So she didn't even notice the number plates? Was that all just me making things up? Okay. What have we here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman?
Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although, I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball.
That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective.
You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation. Ooh. Interesting. What's this?
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game?
That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
Positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I'd better take note of this.
Oh, he didn't move the number plates. He moved the hoop. Is that it?
What is this?
Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it.
Looks like a note from the victim. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later.
Yeah, it's for Mr. Portsman.
Looking around this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case.
You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth.
As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman?
I knew it. That's exactly what my logic sisters were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14th, 5:12 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the Bertie letters, sir.
Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this.
What? Oh. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe.
Another line for you, Portsman. We've got you now.
Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jock Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case.
You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay. Promise to stay out of our way.
Do you intend to hide your crimes under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl.
Who would have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Kammer, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that math of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, are we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? Just you wait, friend. All will be made clear soon. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, my ass, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here.
Sorry, but we are not finished yet.
Oh, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something?
I'll show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence.
I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but...
Hold it!
My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it?
You tell me. I'd say it is, after all. There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit.
Hold it!
Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here?
Jim was my partner, so he can't say I had a motive for killing him.
And that's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain.
But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree?
Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means?
It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as a killer. Besides, how, my ass, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here?
Hold it!
Unfortunately, I believe I've already shown how earlier.
Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room.
What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth?
Ha ha! Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot.
Very well, then I propose that you use this to open my door.
Take that!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know.
Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You use your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes?
Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know.
But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it?
What?
You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl here? The girl herself whose door she opened, shall we?
I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsmouth's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir.
See, Miss Bird backs up my story.
Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted?
Ha, and how do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our doors, for example.
That's right. They do slide out pretty easily.
Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours and not in fact mine. What was it that Mr. Portsmouth used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room?
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir?
It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building, which is why it left which is why it left a usually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
That's right, sure, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's.
There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure. I see. So that's how you throw suspicion on people? Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Oh, he's got more, huh? He's got more to say. Interesting. Okay, nothing more to examine there. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears.
My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday.
Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Now you're just spouting nonsense.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. I had the girl open my office door.
Hold it!
Using the master key, of course. Sure, you have a problem with that? That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps you should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you. After that, I was in my room the entire time.
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish? Mainly band practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. Oh, you must be the buffiest prosecutor we have. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so, you don't have a single reason to suspect me.
Hold it!
I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection!
But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all the evidence?
Objection!
It's all circumstantial. No judge would convict on such flimsy evidence. Seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Alright. Should be easy enough.
Objection!
That was a lie.
What are you talking about? How is that a lie?
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
No.
It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing?
Ah!
Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you.
Objection!
That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me.
Oh, but I do. I have a very decisive evidence.
No way!
This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. You had Miss Bird open the door for you.
Take that!
I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? What for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time.
You're right. I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints?
What do they have to do with anything?
Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Further, all of the prints on my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me, and Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
Just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What?
Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already.
And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that doorknob as well.
Eh?
I'm a little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, you could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Hey, even Janice's fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse.
Now that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
But you can't prove that, can you?
Say something, Miss Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir.
Portsman makes a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Seriously? Wow, okay. Didn't expect him to struggle this long. Alright, let's hear him out. Let's hear out his alibi. See what he has to say for himself. Memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. At exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives would corroborate my story. It's a perfect alibi. You really think it's that perfect? Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Detective Gumshoe?
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 a.m. You see, all the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Okay.
If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct?
Hold it!
You are correct, it was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2.
Ooh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay. So, you came back to your office at 2. And it was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however...
Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh, well, it don't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs.
So, you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit?
Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right? Yes, sir.
A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time.
See? I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden look on your face? You say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we've reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train. You there?
Sure.
Please escort the young lady out. But remember, be gentle. Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe!
Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If I only had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? I need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Alright. Not exactly a shining example of the perfect line of logic. There were 2 bullets left at the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. However, the murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning that it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But, seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up his sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been the property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Supposing there was yet another visitor tonight, that would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. We know that the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. If we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back...
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Great! So you finally come to your senses.
Miss Edgeworth?
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief.
Thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Now you're just eating the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you are really innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess.
Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
He must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do.
But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there.
Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that?
Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another visitor, so?
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from him. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
Stolen 0 file, right, sir?
Correct. Only, just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelf's getting messed up twice and 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now, do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant, because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal? Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, would indeed render my alibi, which is withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie, I'll do something if I must. You know something? I found your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
Okay, now what?
That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course. Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I found your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it.
That thief you ran into should be a real suspect, wouldn't you say?
Hold it!
Actually, no, I wouldn't.
Why not?
That's elementary. A dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them.
You mean the Zero Files, right?
That's how we also know the letters themselves were a setup and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves?
Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either. Yes, that must be it. Maybe. Just maybe. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room.
Hold it!
But according to Mr. Faith's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered.
I don't have any, no.
You see, so I insist again that I was in my office the entire time. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. One of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks.
He brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant, that are related to yesterday's case.
Hold it!
A gun and a pendant?
Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim.
Why were you taking them to Criminal Affairs?
There was something in a past case file I want to compare these two to. But all this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be your... to your satisfaction.
This is all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out.
So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
Hold it!
I can't expect you to know, can I?
Nope. I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions.
Oh, then let's see you deduce.
Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. That's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier.
I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Mr. Portsman, there's a large flaw in your logic.
Really? I think it holds up rather well, actually. What do you think is wrong with it?
Nothing. Let's move on.
This isn't like you at all, sir. Concentrate.
That was careless of me. I can't afford to do that or the truth will slowly slip away. Remain calm, Miles. It's the only way. There we go. Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
Epic fail, my dude. You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from it.
Well, here's the piece I think you should read, carefully.
Yeah, it says that Mr. Faith was bringing in 3 pieces.
Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe you ripped up my simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's...
You have it. You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face.
Detective Gumshoe? You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Don't come any closer, I'm warning you. This is all part of the investigation, pal, so don't even think about stopping me. No! Hey, what's this? He had this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
Why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his own coffin. Oh. The KG3... The KG8 incident.
That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case?
Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Let's give the casing a thorough once-over. A thorough once-over. Is there like a bullet hole or blood?
Ah, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Faith's blood? No, you've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you have received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderers, you and Mr. Faith.
No, impossible.
Alright then. March 14th, 5:47 a.m. Higher Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202.
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
The results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
It was nothing. Really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and a murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Something tells me you should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
They say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession!
We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir, but There's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. With Mr. Portsmouth not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? Mr. Portsmouth isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence.
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
What happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint?
Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Yes?
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look! Something was written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. Murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they... Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago. Okay. The end. Alright. There we go. Alright, well, it's already been an hour of this, so, I think instead of trying to push myself to do an entire episode, I'm just gonna stop here, and next stream, whenever that is, hopefully tomorrow, but maybe some other time, next stream, we're gonna try to do episode 2 from start to finish. So yeah.